question 7, it isn't necessary to do this on a pen and paper method, but I still like to show my students as we go. So I'm just going to do just one or two like this as we go. So principal 1,000, N 6 months, repayment, figure I don't know, and I is 0.011667. I usually show this to 6 or so digits. Now on the right hand side, I'm going to do this component on my calculator. So the next step will be 1,000 is equaling R times something. And I'll divide that by the interest rate as a decimal. And I get 5.7624. I'll put a couple more digits in. And when I do that as a division, I'll end up with 173.54. I'll just check that in a minute on the calculator. So on the calculator, 6 months, 14%, $1,000, 1212, always checking the end. You can see I get exactly the same figure. Now in a moment, I'll just work through doing a payment schedule. This is something, of course, that you could also generate using a recurrence relationship. So this is just showing you what a repayment schedule would look like. Now, these things nowadays can be shown to you by banks and financial institutions. They're easy to generate on spreadsheets, or you can retrospectively find them from your bank statements. So what you owe at the month, the simple interest there, that's 14%. Dividing by 12 gives me 1167. And the amount I have outstanding, I've got to add that on. Take the repayment, 838.13. So I'd carry that figure forward for the next month. Now these aren't test or exam questions, but they're the type of things that you will be confronted in real life. So adding that figure to get the total at the end of the month, take the payment figure. Now I'll just stop the tape and work the rest through. So by the time we get down to the beginning of the last month, 171.53, you only have to pay $2 interest on that. So that means your repayment is going to nail the remaining balance. Earlier on, it didn't eat into it as much. So adding those together, and you can see within a cent, well, we'll say that's virtually zero. So that's showing you repayment schedule. Now, these aren't strictly in the course because we'd normally be after this figure or maybe that figure with so many payments to go. But you can see how the interest, even in this question, drops quite dramatically as time goes on and you eat further and further into the principal that you owe.